Guyana and Guyanese, at home and abroad. Tune in to Guyanese Morning Time, hosted by Kadaki Amsterdam, where the sun always shines. Guyanese Morning Time, the people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. We rise up early morning watching Comes TV, where wisdom and knowledge, yes, it is the key. Exposing corruptions over land and sea, where the wicked politicians they try to trick me. Guyana is a land for everybody. With 6 races should live in harmony. There's one set of people getting aisle money. There's one set of people doing the thievery. Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. This is a program that you all can see, sharing your views and your integrity. Like it, comment and share it all around. Pass it to your neighbor, safe and sound. A sad situation going on in this town. The voice of the people is getting trampled down. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, with Jah as ordained me to sing. I sing Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, fooling the people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. Stop fooling people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. I say Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. They got Breakford, Bork and Mark Benchcop, David Hines and Kadaki Amsterdam, Sherrod Duncan, Nigel London, Normal Brown and Gavin Matthews. Big up Paslow, Poor People Governor, Simona Brooms, Robin Simpson, Hampton Green and Winston Jordan. And yes, we can go right on and on. Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again.
The relatives and friends of young Wyndham Bacchus, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of our in Boston, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of Peter Headley, they deserve justice.
And so when we say that Guyana is an apartheid state, we have the evidence to show.
neighbor, money, money, neighbor, money, money. You can keep your conniving money. When you've been a corrupt, you have been tell me money. Now because your money done, you come with conniving money. When you had your pocket full, you have been tell me money. Now because your money done, you hustle for tell me money. Yes, money, neighbor, money, neighbor, money, money, neighbor, money, money. Now I don't want you conniving money. Neighbor, neighbor, joker, neighbor, neighbor, joker, neighbor, neighbor, joker. That's all the money that me walk for. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. This is all the money that me walk for. Money, neighbor, money, money, neighbor, money, money. I don't want you conniving money. Oh, Joseph.
All right, so today we are here at Club Twilight up in Buxton, and we are here to talk about all that's going on up here. Trust me, if you are on the East Coast, you're in Buxton, you're in town, you're looking for a place to get away to, this is the place. The Cutters, mwah. Listen, I'll be having some just now again. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, the ambience is beautiful, fully air conditioned. The decor is on point. The music's on point. Everything's on point. It's just me. I need some work. But everything else that belongs to this club here is on point. So if you want to find a nice little place where you can just drive out of town and have some drinks, have some food, you can call, you can order your stuff and just take it. You don't have to stay. Or if you want to stay here, that's what's up. And of course, they have special events for Valentine's. You can rent a hall. You can rent a hall, honey. You can rent a hall for weddings, for birthday parties, to have a bash. I hope he edits that out. But you know, whatever it is, this is definitely the place to be. So it's on Sideline Dam. You definitely want to ensure that you check this place out. But it's on your to-do list. All right, on your to-do list. This is definitely the place to check out, you know, a really cool, chill spot here in Buxton. I like this. This is, Buxton needed this. We needed this. I needed this. You definitely needed too. Thank you.
Arriving in the UK from Guyana, the Caribbean, North America, or elsewhere. Start your journey with ease and comfort by choosing first-class travel service, one of UK's leading providers of premium airport transfers. Enjoy a smooth, stress-free arrival by booking your comfortable and reliable airport taxi before you arrive. With affordable rates and exceptional service, we cover all major UK airports, including Heathrow, Gatwick, Manchester, Birmingham, and many more. Wherever you land, we guarantee a seamless door-to-door experience to and from any UK airport. For your peace of mind, all our drivers are fully DBS checked and cleared, ensuring a safe and trustworthy service from the moment you arrive. Our friendly staff will meet and greet you in the airport arrival hall, assist with your luggage, and escort you to one of our luxurious vehicles. So wait no longer. We're ready to look after you from the moment you arrive in the UK. You can contact us via email info@firstclasstravelservice.co.uk, office phone +4 4195 2287 176, WhatsApp +4 479 136 0576 5 or +4 479 009 50171, or simply fill in our request, a quote form, at www.firstclasstravelservice.co.uk. Travel with confidence. Travel first class.
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T&W Harris Butcher Shop, located in the East Rheinveld Market Meat section. Call us on 609-7168. T&W Harris Butcher Shop for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more.
From Paparino speaks of birth to correct his sons. Words Children pledge each faithful heart to guard Guyana's lands, to foil the shock of rude invader who violate earth, to cherish and defend forever the slave that gave them birth. We forge a nation's mighty soul, construct a nation's flame. Freedom or everlasting goal, courage and truth our aim. All living in our quest for peace, like ancient heroes brave, to strive and never cease, with strength beyond the slave. Guyana climbed the glorious first to fame prosperity, joining the universal search for worldwide community. Your people was surrender great, they knew our quality, with one forever changing, with all nations unity.
Marching towards the shining future, courage high, the past is gone. Live for coming fame and counting mountain glory, sun and stone. Through the storm of dark and glory, through faith like in flash and flame, one republic of Guyana, glorify Guyana's name. Forward, forward, youthful nation, ride with all the husband's might. May his strength forever gratitude to strive and season be for right. From Guyana's base consummate to wise prophets is the train. Build thy people, dear Guyana, strong, united, loyal, free. My Guyana, my Guyana, my Guyana, my Guyana, Eldorado, rest of all the world away. In my heart wherein I wander, memory enshrineth thee. All my hopes and aspirations, all my longings, only tie everlasting bonds around us as the fleeting years roll by. My Guyana, Eldorado, my Guyana, times unfolding and for my destiny, to redeeming lasting splendor for years and lost for me, and the dawning of thy glory, o'er the long, long night is past. Oh, arise triumphant, glorious, from the ashes of the past. Oh, arise triumphant, glorious, from the ashes of the past. Guyana, oh my lovely native land, Lord,
and sorrow. Whispers drifting to the sea. Everywhere repeats a prayer for every soul and family. From Pomeroon to Essequibo, from Demerara's flowing tide, a nation stands with heavy hearts, the Caribbean by its side. A river of tears is flowing tonight, but love is stronger than the darkest night. One Caribbean, one family, holding Guyana tenderly. When one heart breaks, we all feel the pain. Together we'll stand till hope comes again. Across the islands, candles burning, voices lifted, heads bowed low. Hands may never reach the shoreline, still our love will surely show. From Georgetown to New York, from Toronto over the sea, from London back to Linden, one Guyanese family. From Bridgetown to Kingston, from Castries to Port of Spain, the Caribbean joins together to lift your hearts again. No border can divide our tears. No ocean is too wide. When one nation breathes, the whole region walks beside. To every Guyanese abroad, wherever you may roam, tonight a million hearts remind you, you are never far from home. A river of tears is flowing tonight, but dawn will always follow night. Hold each other, don't let go, together through the tears. Ooh, oh. Guyana, you do not walk alone. To every Guyanese, at home and around the world, Caribbean walks with you. Dedicated to the people of Guyana, to Guyanese communities around the world, and to the rescuers, first responders and volunteers whose courage brings hope in the darkest of hours. A river of tears, you do not walk alone.
It seems like forever, and your nights of confusion has been so long. Your ship has lost anchor, and the storm that you drifted. Just hold on to Jesus and ride out your storm. Ride out your storm. God is still with you. You may not feel it, but you're not alone. You're hurting now, but your morning is coming. Lord of mercy, just hold on to Jesus and ride out your storm. Remember his promise. He said, I'll never forsake you. Though the waters are troubled, they'll do you no harm. Don't give up the battle, for your answer is coming. Just hold on to Jesus and just ride out your storm. Ride out your storm. God is still with you. You may not feel it, but you're not alone. You're hurting now, but your morning is coming. Lord of mercy, just hold on to Jesus and ride out your storm. Ride out your storm. God is still with you. You may not feel it, but you're not alone. You're hurting now, but your morning is coming. Lord of mercy, just hold on to Jesus and ride out your storm.
Ride out your storm. Ride Out Your Storm by George Nooks, one of my favorite gospel artists. Encouraging us all this morning, ride out your storm. Special dedication to the people of this country, and more particular to the relatives, friends, and family of those who suffered as a result of the capsizing of MV Barima, 87-year-old vessel. Morning, morning. Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. I still need to ask, I can imagine, but I still need to ask, how are you? How was it yesterday? How was it last night? How are you feeling this morning? How are you passing night? I wonder how some people get to sleep at night. I want to know. How did you get to sleep last night? How did our politicians get to sleep last night? How did the people who have responsibility for transportation in this country get to sleep last night. How? I gotta be careful. It's a very emotional time for me. I'm that peach, as some people say. I get emotional over things, and I get emotional over things when I believe that it is really a result of abuse and disrespect and disregard and inhumanity. I get so emotional when I get thoughts of what I think should be done to some of the people who cause these sufferings upon people. And I know within my heart it's not easy to be done. The Bible says kill and be killed. And you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and such things. And quite frankly, sometimes I wish we were in olden Bible or olden biblical days where some people could really pay for their sins and pay for it instantaneously. Like when you lie, you drop down and dead. Those sometimes is the kind of justice I look for. Because I believe if I wait on the kind of justice that mankind claims to deliver, you don't ever get justice. You get an appeasement. In most instances, when they say justice has been delivered, people still go about asking themselves if justice was indeed delivered. Was justice really delivered? Did the right person pay for these transgressions, these infractions? I think the saying says justice must not only be done, but it must be seen to be done. There's something to the extent, because when you see it, let's say seeing is believing. And when you really see justice being done, then you sometimes are more comforted. My heart goes out to all those families that have lost, whether the lives of their family members, relatives, and friends, or they have lost what I want to call peace of mind. Because I'm saying, despite what, those people who were rescued, who have been rescued, and I hope there are others to be rescued. I'm really, really praying that there are others to be rescued. But when you look at the timeline, the time frame, you would see, well, it's hardly likely that there are more survivors out there. But I really am praying and hoping that there are more survivors out there. But I know for a fact the lives of the survivors themselves have been changed. The lives of the survivors have been changed. And they are not going to have an easy time. It's going to be nightmare upon nightmare and anxiety attacks and all of that. So their lives definitely have been changed. I want to say thank God for the younger children, or the younger children, because they may or may not have memories of this event as time goes by. But the question that we have to ask as a nation is, what allows for such tragedy? What allows for such tragedy, I mean, jokingly, perhaps I said to some friends yesterday, PPP is the enemy that has been formed against the Guyanese people. Right? They said no enemy formed against me shall prosper. But we seem to allow the PPP as an enemy to the Guyanese people to continue to prosper. because nobody seemed to have the gumption to stand up to the PPP and say, hey, devil, get ye behind me. Hey, devil, take the hindmost. Hey. Nobody seemed to want to behave like Christ when he walked into the synagogue, the place of worship, and he beat out all of them that are pretending that they are servants of the Lord and they are gambling and they turn the house of the Lord into a marketplace and so. Nobody seemed to have that gumption. Everybody seems willing to bargain with the PPP and take hush money from the PPP. And for as long as that continues to happen, we are going to continue to endanger our citizens the way we have endangered the passengers on the MV Barima. And I want you to take note. The politicians, the big shot PPP politicians, have jumped to the front of the line to say our hands are clean. We are not culpable. We are not culpable. It is the lowly workers of transport and harbors. They are the ones who are culpable. In a time of tragedy, the Prime Minister, which according to his portfolio is really responsible for spearheading disaster response and so on. Yeah, that falls on the Prime Minister's office. But in the time of tragedy, the president is nowhere to be found. Come home yet? Did Irfan Ali truncate his overseas trip, whether it is a pleasure or business, leisure or business, to come back home and, commiserate with his people? Where is Irfan Ali? I want to know, where is Irfan Ali? Has anybody seen Irfan Ali since this tragedy happened on the shores of Guyana? Have you heard a statement from Irfan Ali? I'm asking because I have not heard. I don't want to be unfair to the president. So I'm asking that. Has anybody heard a statement from Irfan Ali? Even comforting words to those who have lost in this disaster, this national disaster that the PPP believes should be politically managed. If you have a national disaster and your government is trying to politically manage it, look deeper, because your government is obviously culpable. Your government is obviously culpable. And when governments are culpable of causing and bringing sufferings on the people, then the people have a responsibility and more so a right to rise up against that government and banish them from office. Banish them from office. But you know what? We Guyanese, we are a special breed of people. According to Barjagyo, we are very, very stupid. We are docile. Because the tragedy only affected, I can't say if it is 133 persons or 200 persons or 130, but definitely 133 plus persons. The tragedy only affected them and their families. So there is no widespread call for accountability. I haven't heard the churches. I haven't heard the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce was quick to come out, or Guyana Chamber of Commerce, whatever you call them. They were quick to come out to say Irfan Ali, there was no corruption, etc. in Irfan Ali's farm. I didn't hear them come out to say hold your government accountable for this tragedy. I didn't hear them. But how y'all could hold the government accountable for this tragedy? I can tell y'all how we could hold the government accountable, or why y'all want to hold the government accountable for this tragedy. We can tell you. I can tell you. In case you don't know. You see, the problem with us is a lot of us, we separate, we don't draw the nexus, we don't establish the linkages between events. We don't establish the linkages. But when professionals are not allowed to do their work because of political interference, we end up with problems like these. When the captain of a vessel, as in the MV Barima, says that the vessel has reached capacity and subboarding should stop, and a politician like the Bishop the Great One Ejil intervenes and said that his friend's vehicle and cargo must be allowed to load onto the vessel, we end up with problems like this. We end up with problems like this. When the professionals examine a vessel and they say this 87-year-old piece of iron needs to be retired or renovated to the cost of over $100 million, and the minister responsible for such entity says, I ain't spending no $100 million on no vessel. I gonna spend less than y'all require, and y'all gonna make it work. We end up with problems like this. We end up with problems like this. When professionals say to their superiors, who say to their political bosses that this vessel is not seaworthy, and the politicians like Ejil say nothing is wrong with that vessel, y'all gonna work it, we end up with problems like this. We end up in problems like these. But people don't see that. A lot of the people who stand behind these politicians, especially those in government, are so daft. They got their heads up so high up in their backsides that the only thing they could see is to praise and defend these corrupt and criminal politicians. They are ready to jump to the front of the class and say, but why the minister must resign? Because I've seen that somebody said that Ejil should resign forthwith, and of course they jump in front. Why the minister must resign? The minister must resign because the minister ultimately has responsibility for the agency under which this disaster happened. And for those of you who don't know, the minister has a part to play in this disaster happening, because according to the documents issued in March 2026, there's a whole raft of issues wrong with the MV Barima, and the minister ultimately permitted it to traverse the rivers, traverse the waters of this country, and transport citizens of this country. And if the minister ultimately permitted that, the minister ultimately is responsible for the lives and sufferings of the people who were aboard the MV Barima, and so the minister should go. I don't know if I can explain it any simpler. The minister should go. If you hire a manager to overlook your business and the supervisor screw up because of poor managerial oversight, then the manager and the supervisor should go. Not the lowly captain and engineer. They too should go. Because ultimately, they too are responsible, so they too should go. They too should be held accountable. But don't come in front of us and tell us that you did test on the captain and you found out that he was a user of narcotics. You found narcotics in his system. Because again, it's a failing. It's a failing of your political bosses and those who have oversight of the agency. I have a question for Jill, and I have a question for the entire PPP, and I have a question for Marad and all of them. When was the last time prior to now a drug test was administered on the crew of any of the vessels plying the waters of this country transporting our citizens? Y'all answer me. When was the last time? When was the last time? Show me the last time that such a test was administered on the crew of any vessel. Because if you were doing tests, random tests, consistently, then you would have known, for example, several months ago, as you allege, that this person is a user of narcotic. You would have established that prior to this disaster, and you would have taken the necessary actions. And as far as I know, the necessary actions would have been dismissal or demotion of this individual. But oh, it had to cost the lives of a number of people who we haven't established this yet, and may never ever establish accurately, before a test was administered to find out that the captain is a drug user. It's scapegoating. It's scapegoating, right? When they, who are they? Bible people, when they were asked if they wanted Jesus or they wanted Barabbas, they say, give us Barabbas. In short, the authorities of the day were saying, because you are calling for somebody's head, we got two. We got two. Either Jesus or Barabbas. We're going to get you somebody's head because you're calling for somebody's head. And so the political elites already established that Guyanese is going to be calling for somebody's head. So let us serve them up, the head of the captain and crew, before they start calling for our heads. But I calling this morning for the political elites to be held accountable. You notice a pause? I want to say calling for the heads of the political elites, because the last time I say, or the last time somebody called, as a matter of fact, and said the heads of the political elites must roll, I ended up before the court with a damn stupid charge that I was threatening or permitted to threaten the lives of the jackasses who run this country. Because among us, even sometimes I want to say the most stupid of people understand that when you say the heads of somebody must roll, you simply mean that they must pay. They must face the consequences for their misbehavior. So the powers that be, the Ajels and the Phillips and the Manik Chans and the Alis and the Jagios and all of those who are sucking the lifeblood out of this nation, claiming to be a government, know that ultimately they're responsible for this disaster. But before people start calling for their removal from office, let us offer them up the heads of the captain and crew. Listen, in any decent country, the fact that Edgel was forced to jump out and say the vessel wasn't overloaded, the manifest shows that. Only to later find out that the manifest was inaccurate. That alone should warrant the dismissal or resignation of the minister with that responsibility. The fact that this minister jump out in front and say, according to the manifest, the vessel was now overloaded. Only to later discover that the manifest was not even accurate. That alone should warrant his resignation. Ejel resigning ain't gonna do nothing for me. Quite frankly, I believe if Ejel resign, it ain't gonna do nothing for the country because they're gonna find another jackass, thieving jackass to put right back where Ejel been. But at least the other thief and jackass might understand that unless I function properly, my time might come when the people will ask for my resignation. The government might come to understand that unless they function properly, a time might come when the people will ask for their removal as a government. I mean, it might be too early. People might say I'm politicizing this tragedy, but it is a political tragedy. Guyana is a political tragedy. And the only way to deal with political tragedies is to confront them politically. And so, quite frankly, for me, I don't want to hear nobody tell me about a day of mourning. I want to hear people tell me that they will take that day of mourning because I think it was Martin in Cartoon said, don't mourn for me. In fact, might be Walter Rodney said, organize. Guyanese people must organize and take to the streets of this country and demand better governance from the people who are sitting there, thieving the country's resources and masquerading as a government. The relatives, friends, and family of those who have suffered, whether dead or alive, perhaps can be called upon to lead it. But I won't hold my breath because they too have their political preferences. And whether past, present, or future, many of them might be very well defending this kleptocratic administration, this don't give a damn administration. We have a national disaster, but Guyanese cannot behave like Guyanese. Guyanese don't see a national disaster. Guyanese got jump in front to defend the PPP and to consult the opposition. Guyanese can't see that this is a national disaster caused by poor governance. Is it good governance when you spend hundreds of millions of dollars to acquire, I think, 3 helicopters, as we like to call them, for the Guyana Defense Force, and then when a disaster happens, you find out that 2 of them are not working and only 1 is functional? In short, if you ask me, you find out that your government took hundreds of millions of dollars and bought crap. Is not reason enough to tell your government, go ahead, leave office, we're tired of you, we're fed up of you. Yeah? Is not good enough? Well, let me tell you about the tender document. I mentioned it. Let me tell you what the tender document says. In fact, this is an article I'm preparing for the co-standard publication. Tender documents dated March 2026 have raised new questions about the condition of the MV Barima. In the months before its recent capsizing, after revealing an extensive list of structural and mechanical repairs identified as necessary for the vessel, The documents prepared approximately 4 months before the tragedy identify major repair works involving the vessel's hull, cargo hatches, propulsion system, steering equipment, sea valves, and other critical components. While the tender documents detail repairs that were required, they do not by themselves make the vessel unworthy, but it raises a question as to whether or not these critical components of the vessel were serviced as required or recommended. Let me show you my face. Well, you see my face. I know you see my face. Let me ask you a question. If your respiratory system is working, if your circulatory system is working, if your nervous system is working, are you working? Are you functioning? Are you functioning? Are you healthy? I know the answer is no. I know the answer is no. And so when you look at the fact that the steering system of the vessel had problems, when you look at the fact that let me call it water management system, the valves and so on had problems. When you look, the hydraulic system had problems. When you look at the fact that there were structural problems, on that vessel, is it working? Is it working? Is it seaworthy? Should it be allowed to go on the water top? My sources told me that engineers around Marad and so on have indicated to the government of Guyana quite a while now that that vessel is not seaworthy. I rather suspect it is the concerns and the complaints that resulted in the preparation of that tender document. The question is, did that document ever go to tender? Did that document ever go to tender? It was dated March 2026. If it went out to tender, what happened? Has the tenders, have anybody tendered? Were the tenders assessed? Has the contract been awarded? If awarded to what value? Were the works completed? What percentage of the works were completed, if any? Let me continue, because it's a part that tells you. Among the most significant items is a proposed replacement of approximately 10,000 kilograms of deteriorated hull plating and framing. So if you got to replace about 10,000 kilograms of plating and hull framing, then how the vessel will be seaworthy? Being too bright. But I want to believe immediately that there's a structural problem there. Because if the hull got a problem, the framing of the hull got a problem, it's like you got a rotten fence. In case you don't understand what's going on, you got a rotten fence. You got a fence and the structure of the fence is rotting. And then the zinc sheets that you got on the structure of the fence itself, they too are rotting. If they too are rotting, right? If they too are rotting, you got a fence ready? I got a placeholder for fence. Can your fence withstand like the storm that passed the other day? Will your fence withstand that? And that's what we seem not to understand. And that's why I try to make these things into brass tacks here, so you understand what we're talking about. You have a vessel, right? I don't. Let me. I wonder what is the tonnage of the vessel. Anybody knows the tonnage of the vessel? Because I want to show you something. I like dealing percentage. All right. So according to AI, the gross, right? The gross tonnage of the passenger and cargo ferry, everybody is 284 tons. Right? I think they're talking about capacity here. 284 tons. But listen, if it is 284 tons, the recommended replacement of 10,000 kilograms of hull for the vessel is a recommendation of approximately 11 tons out of 284, which is 3.87%, approximately. Right? Approximately. So you got 3.87% of your vessel. This is just the hull. Right? Approximately 11 tons, because sometimes when we hear this 10,000 kilogram, we really, a lot of us don't understand this kilogram thing. Most of us like to talk about tons and so on. We're talking about 11 tons or so of deteriorated hull plating and framing. That's the outside of the thing. That is the first line of defense from the water. Right? If your first line of defense from the water is weak, what do you expect to happen when the water comes? And then there's an additional 3,000 kilograms, which if I take it as 1/3 of 12 is about 4 tons of internal plates, bulkheads, and frames. So far we have established it's 7 tons approximately. No, 11 and 1/3 11, I say take it as 4, 1/3 of 4. They're about 15 tons. 15 tons of framing and sheeting for this vessel needed replacement. Generally, engineers regard work of this magnitude as major structural repairs intended to address corrosion and restore the integrity of a vessel's hull. If the hull of your vessel is of questionable integrity, if it's weak, you're only waiting for a disaster to happen. The March 2026 tender documents also called for ultrasonic thickness testing of the hull, a procedure used to determine whether corrosion has reduced the thickness and strength of the vessel's steel plating. The inclusion of this requirement has prompted calls for, and I'm making those calls, were the ultrasonic tests ever conducted? Were they ever conducted? If they were conducted, what were the findings? What were the findings? Were those steel plates structurally sound? If they were, to what degree were they structurally sound? Who ultimately has the say on whether or not these recommended works on MV Barima were going to be carried out? Ultimately, the political masters got the say because what? They are the ones who control the budget. Minister Ejel ultimately is responsible for the budget of transport and harbors because they fall under his ministry. But these guys, for the most part, are concerned about saving money is not necessarily for the citizens of this country. But you know for what else? The repair schedule further identified works on the vessel's cargo hatches, including replacement of hatch beams, damaged hatch boards, cement works around the hatch opening, and the installation of a tarpaulin hatch cover. Maritime experts note that cargo hatches must remain watertight in order to prevent seawater from entering the cargo hold under rough conditions. Because if water enters the cargo hold, obviously, with the rolling and the they got something as it's called it. Anyhow, with the rolling of the vessel on the waves, that water is going to be splishing and splashing, and it is going to destabilize the vessel. It is going to, in many instances, make it imbalance and so on and so forth, or unbalanced. Repairs were also specified for sea chest valves, suction boxes, valve boxes, and overboard drainers. This is what I refer to as your hydraulic system or your circulatory system in the human body. If your circulatory system is working, then you're in problems. And so here we are told about all of these things which had to be looked at. Suction valves, check valves, valve boxes, overboard strainers. And these components regulate the movement of seawater through the vessel's operating system. Failure of these systems in certain circumstances will allow for flooding of machinery spaces or interference with the safe operation of a vessel. Let me ensure you see my face because I want to tell you all this. Based on the reports, passengers said that even to start the journey, the vessel was experiencing engine difficulties. Could these engine difficulties be associated with the fact that the hydraulic, the water management system of the vessel remains dysfunctional, and so there was the presence of water already affecting the functioning of the engine room, etc. for the vessel? Gordy. So again, let Ejel and the rest of the PPP kleptocratic cabal tell us whether or not these recommendations were followed and to what extent they were followed. Let them tell us whether or not these things were fixed. The document additionally lists extensive work on the propulsion system. This is engine we're talking about now, propelling it forward. The propulsion system, including repairs to propeller shafts, shaft supports, stern tubes, and propellers, together with installation of 2 new turbochargers. Steering components requiring repairs included rudder blades, rudder stocks, and steering ram seals. Were these ever acquired and changed? Were these ever acquired and changed? Other scheduled works included the cleaning of fuel and water service tanks, and the replacement of underwater zinc anodes, components designed to slow corrosion of the vessel's steel hull. So this March 26 document has said several things to us. And so the questions that remain out there: Were all of the repairs identified in the tender document of March 2026 undertaken? Were they even started? Much more completed? If they were done, let Jill and the rest of Mara tell us when they were done. Transport and Harbors, let them tell us when they were done. Who inspected and certified the completed works? Who inspected the completed works and certified it and said, well, now this vessel is like a brand new baby, it can go on the water top again? Did MARAD issue a seaworthiness certificate to the MV Barima? Let us see when the last seaworthiness certificate to MV Barima was issued. Let us know that. When was it issued? How long ago? Those are some of the questions we want answered. But we can answer them with an independent investigation after Jill departs office. After the general manager of TAG departs office. After all those who are culpable or responsible depart office. Because we already saw efforts at covering up. You know, I laughed this morning. I had a laugh. If it weren't such a serious and sad situation, it would have been comical. Ghana has a problem with lists. We got a problem with lists. We got a problem with the voters list. We got a problem of the citizens list. We got a problem with the list of people who should collect cash grant. We got a whole problem of lists. When you hear Guyana and lists, know there's a problem. Expect a problem. The fact that almost 50%, or as a matter of fact, more than 50% of the people who were rescued were not on the manifest of that vessel, tells us there's a serious problem with lists in this country, and especially lists at TNHD. I am able to do statistics and maths and so on right now because I will show you by way of perhaps permutation, by way of some kind of computation, I will show you some kind of, I'll use some kind of mathematical theory to show you that if more than 50% of the people found on the list, found alive, rescued from this tragedy, are not on the list, then the number of people on that vessel most likely are way more than the authorities are declaring to you. Are you understanding that? Those of you who learn mathematics according to Isu Pythagoras, someone in there, man. If you know yourself from mathematics, take that figure. Take those figures that you might find in the press. More than 35, I think the number is about 35, 37 of the, how many, 67 persons or something that they found alive. The names can be found on the manifest. And do your projections in there. If you are saying that there were 163 persons, I think, on the boat, based on the manifest, but then you find more than 50% of those who have been rescued not on the manifest, then my projection is that more than 50% of that 133 persons, is it 33? If you had more than 50% of 133 persons to that list, 130 would 65. So let me say they're claiming 133 and you had 65 to that. You're talking about 119. You're talking about perhaps in excess of 200 persons on that vessel. Like I said, I'm just using the little learning I got because I went to school. Maybe they could prove me wrong. But I'm using their figures. We have 133 persons in this vessel. Let's claim that. But we later found out that a sample taken from this vessel shows that more than 50% of that sample was not accounted for. So we can project that 133 that we have accounted for, there's another 50% at least that has not been accounted for. And so when we bring it together, we're talking about close to 200 persons. We will never know, not for a very long time, how many persons were really on that vessel and how many persons have suffered at the bottom of the ocean, the river. We will never know. But what we can glean from that is that persons have not been taking their job seriously in terms of preparation of a manifest, in terms of piloting that vessel from point A to point B. Because if you're saying that the captain was under the influence of narcotics, it means he wasn't taking his job seriously. And why people don't take their job seriously in this country? For the most part, they're not satisfied with it. Dissatisfaction brings disregard. If people are paid adequately, then they behave more responsibly. I don't care who say what. Because watch me. If I have a job that is paying me well, why you think a lot of Guyanese? I got a friend in Canada. I don't know if he's still in Canada. I'm Keegan. Every day you saw him in Guyana, he used to be drinking alcohol. Every living day that you saw him in Guyana, he used to be drinking alcohol. He was driver. That didn't stop him from drinking alcohol, let's say at the end of the day itself. But he migrated to Canada and he started driving. And he had a decent job according to his description. He was being paid nicely according to his description. But part of the job is they will do random drug testing so he can't drink. Even when he came back to Guyana, even when he came on holidays once a year or so, he used to tell me, why I can't drink. Because when I go back before going on the job, they're going to do a random blood test. You know why he developed that quote-unquote discipline? Why he made those choices? Because his job was taking enough care of him. And so he couldn't, in his estimation, afford to lose that job because he didn't know if he can get back one just as good. And in Guyana, our professionals and so on, they don't give three hands because as far as they're concerned,
they are being underpaid, they are being mistreated, and so they can afford to lose the job because they're going to get another low-paying job anyhow. So one of the first things that jump out here is professionals, as in the case of this pilot, captain, whatever you call him, they don't take the job seriously because they don't see themselves as having much to lose. You have to address that too. You have to address that too. Because if you're not willing to pay people for their skill set at the right level, then we will not attract the right people with the right attitudes, and we're going to get disasters like this. What we do about this tragedy is going to determine how we are treated in the future. No doubt about that. A minister refusing to spend $100 million to renovate a vessel that is responsible for taking citizens on long journeys from one region to the other as part of their livelihood and their existence can't be treated lightly. A minister insisting that a vessel that has been flagged as unseaworthy should be continued to be used to transport citizens, in my mind, has deliberately placed their lives at risk, and he should be made to answer for it. It's 25 to the 9 o'clock hour. The lines are opened. 622-5933 is the number to call. 622-5933 is the number to call. You tune to the Guyanese Morning Time. And before I take those calls, let me say this. I see members of the opposition, more particularly APNU, crying foul. I see them crying foul. They turn up at the Humanayano, where the Prime Minister, Nigeria, and other members of cabinet, I think, were addressing the issue. And some little dirty girl prevented them from entering. As I would want to say, chase them. Call them mute and hold for me, please. Some little dirty girl masquerading as a minister. Tell them they can't enter. But let me tell you something. Don't come on the media and skin your face. Don't come on the media and skin your face. And I thank God. You see me, I just tell people, I trust in the universe. I take guidance from the universe. I trust in the universe. Yesterday, I received a call from a member of the delegation and said, Mr. Amsterdam, we going down to Humanayano. You coming? I could give me an exact response. Say, no, I can't come. I'm in my kitchen. I'm doing some soup for my family. Right? I honest. I just tell people as it is. We had a little lengthy conversation after that. But I thank God I didn't go. Because I don't know who would tell me as a national leader, as a parliamentarian, in this instance, I'm talking about those who went to think that I cannot go into a place where a national disaster is being discussed. Sometimes you don't wait for the door to be opened, you kick it backside down. And then none like me would have got there, they tell me no, I would have broke up the party and they would have to lock me up. cannot lead with a spirit of fear and a display of fear, and y'all gotta stop this nonsense. Many people saw me at one point in time. I stopped going out to GCOM to protest, but many people didn't understand why. And tell y'all now. Some of the PNCites, let me say some of the representatives of the PNC, APNU, started joining us with that protest out there. And Mason, big up yourself, was leading that group of people. And I chose to take a particular stance on the protest line, and that is, since me led by Grub, me know nobody is allowed to breach a protest line. Nobody is allowed to breach a protest line. And so the police coming with siren or somebody coming to go to GCOM, and they always agreeing with the police to separate so vehicle could pass and all them kind of thing. On a particular day, I said, I am not moving. Nobody got no right to breach this protest line, and I ain't moving. And it seemed as though it was going to lead to confrontation, and Mason said, "I move." And Mason begging people to move and allow vehicles to pass. And I say, none of y'all ain't got me back. Y'all can't defend me. And since y'all can't defend me, me ain't gonna stand up here okay with y'all. And it was the last day we went out to GCOM to protest. Because if we're protesting, if we're taking political action, we have to understand that we have to have a oneness of thought and behavior and movement. One for all and all for one. And until you have that attitude, you're going to continue to be laughing stocks. I don't see you, I mean, it's going to sound harsh, but I don't see y'all as anything but a group of laughing stock when you come to dealing with the PPP. My people have suffered and my people are suffering as a result of this disaster, and you managing it politically and telling me as a people's representative, people's political representative, I can't enter the venue and I accepting that shit? And then come to the media and cry? We all want sympathy? Show me a company and tell you y'all are a set of weakards. And as long as y'all continue to behave like weakards, the PPP going to treat y'all like weakards. There's safety in numbers. And if I can't guarantee that the numbers with me or behind me or around me got the same temperament like me, it's best I stay in my car now. Call it on your life.
To you and all my black brothers and sisters, I'm calling upon Mr. Dr. Todd, Mr. Campbell. It is time for you guys go on work site with young black men and women who need jobs and demand the boss hire these Guyanese people. In every country, the government always said, you guys have to take so many percent of the citizens in the country. But Guyanese don't break because the government need to keep black people at the bottom of the ladder and punish them. Mr. Cameron ain't ready yet. I see Mr. Campbell make a video and sing the same nonsense song. Before the opposition leader look for vote, he look for cheap and goat. Turn those words upside down, black people, my brother and sister, and Mr. Campbell, and see what he mean. The government, I tell him plain, Mohammed, stop the nonsense. Continue to take away black man vote from black man party. That is your duty. And Cameron sing a song, and Flash Gardner call upon you day and night to make a song, put fire and smoke up in the hill and stop the runaway train so black people will not go enslaved, not become slave again. I used to sing a song. How many more will have to suffer? Messiah, you stop singing a song. Turn it upside down and see what they do. Many more will suffer if we don't come together and stop them who suffering us in Guyana. Those innocent people, my condolences go to the families and parents. I'm calling upon all them lawyers, them 50,000 lawyers in Guyana. Pick up each one of them case and sue the government because I have enough information that the government neglect the people them welfare. I'm not saying it would not be, I'm not saying that it wouldn't happen if Abby Norton, my leader, was inside there, but Abby Norton would have put policy and in place for protect the citizens them. And I'm calling for the government loud and clear through Camp TV. The number one, change these numbers for leave 4 o'clock at dark. Let it be 7 o'clock in the morning and get a Coast Guard for escort that boat certain miles, and then they could turn back and come back to Georgetown. Make sure you record all and each name and get 2 ferry, 1 for vehicle and 1 for human being. You cannot put all those vehicle with human being there. Think about part 2. Think about plan B, that if the boat capsized, what would happen with human being? Let me quote Wanda Bob before we go. Wanda Bob said, "Mom, it's gonna make you suck salt because of the foolishness I did." And said so done. Big up to Wanda Bob, that East Kenyan woman. She said, plain, the foolishness I done, particularly for who are you? I go suck salt. And because of Mohammed, oh, Flash, don't blame Mohammed. Oh, let me get all down right for blame Mohammed. Because Mohammed stopped Amerindians and black people to get a better life in Guyana. He met children drink salt water and died. And some alive forgive the testimony. I'm blaming Mama this morning because he knew he cannot be Jack Joe. And what he did, he only campaigned in the black neighborhood, no more neighborhood, only not Eastern neighborhood, only black. It tells me something. Because when Abinata said, I would give back black man the land, Abinata said, I would take black people out of poverty. They don't like that because you know what? Black man, I'm not going to get rich every goddamn day and Chinese. It is not too late for you to do the right thing, my black brother and sister. It is, I believe the country should be shut down. East, North, West, South this morning because of how the president or the government, you will stop. MP have the power like you, president and minister. They are there to represent all people. I don't know why you guys didn't put fire and smoke up in here and stop the runaway train. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for your call. 6225933 is the number to call. You're still tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time. I'm your host. I'll call only pop and name pop out. We are doing ready. Call you on. Good morning.
Morning, Kadaki. My condolence go to the people, the families of those that lost national tragedy, and we hope and pray that their souls become time. This year is gonna last a very long time. Let's get into it. It's James Bond is the one who sing the song about Muhammad with cow and goat and WhatsApp. Now hearing people saying that that vessels must leave in the day and what's not to country. Once vessels are seaworthy, they could travel at any time. I have traveled on vessels when I lived in Bahamas, daytime, night time, travel over here to the states from Bahamas, daytime and night were seaworthy. You talked about that in the document, right? And people are calling for that one to resign. You hear me? You hear me? Oh, I'll wait until you finish. Yes, you talk about that in the document and people calling for Edgel to resign. Some jurisdiction, that in the document alone would have used to criminal, he would have gone to jail. Chama Solomon cited some of that, right? Where they had disasters and the ministers resigned. He got to go. He must go. And let's put the icing on the cake. Where's the presidents? This is our 9/11, and he's nowhere to be found. Taxpayers would have been happy if charter a plane with taxpayers' money to come home there and comfort people. But they charter to Miami to plug his ass when he had diarrhea. Right? How much millions of dollars a charter a plane for that? But you cannot show up in a set of money. Got naked skin woman spinning from top of ceiling for shows you need to keep vessels in proper order for our citizens to travel with safely. It is sickening. It is sickening. And for them to say they've made it political because they're the ones who think that they alone must run it. When it was 9/11 over here, everyone was on board. We never had a disaster like that. People stand up and see that your government ain't doing the right thing to do. They have to go. How many more must die? How many more must die? That's all I have to say.
Thank you for that call. Call you on. Good morning.
Bless. Good morning, Mr. Kadaki, to you and your panel, your listening audience. Hello? A blessed good morning. A blessed good morning to you, Mr. Kadaki, to you and your viewing audience. What has happened today in this, and it's not, I wouldn't want to use the word, it's it should be used here is neglect. First, to be clearly, this is a clear case whereby can win this case without a doubt. If you looked at the aspect of where this ship and the time this vessel was purchased, they're supposed to have something called where the ship came from and when it was made. That document one that the time that vessel was built should be expired. And hence can tell you whenever a product is being produced, of that produce or that product. Let me make an example. If there is a drugs and the drugs that they make from the day it was made, they have a expiry time on that drug. It's the same as this vessel. This is a main perspective of having a vessel running and operating our waters need to be retired and put somewhere in a museum if possible, or be scrapped for metal. This is the thing that we are suffering in this country here. We are, as the people, this government is really doing. And I'm of the view that this neglect that the government has placed is a deliberate one. And look at the posture of how they conduct. They all have the same posture. Let me go further. Let me go back. Who was burnt up? They tried their best to hush the parents of those children and stop justice for their children. And I'm saying that is one posture. The second posture, when Adriana Young dropped, in their best way to avoid justice for that child. Now we have a ship have sunk in the waters of our, and yet you find the minister, Ed Jill and others going and stating the nation that the vessel did not go down because of water intake and overload. That is irrelevant. Of these people who have perished should join collectively and file a lawsuit against it. Is responsible for these vessels to travel to have the commuters traveling vessels are not properly equipped and are not in a position whereby that they can travel past. It's the state neglect. They would want to hush everybody so that they can put this on that they should be. This is about time people come together, who have lost their loved ones, and come together collectively and file a lawsuit to our program when those girls got born up in the school. I have mentioned this when Adriana Young lost her life. To the Guyanese people at all, you're budgeting billions and trillions of dollars of budget when the proper infrastructure, as they claim that they're spending this money on infrastructure, so that they can transport people's lives and safely. Come on, Mr. Daki. This is not fair. I'd like to leave you with this. It is my belief, and I'm standing firmly on this, on to those people and those children. Because accordingly, if you look at the pattern in this country under this government, all of these disasters are not normal. They're premeditated. By you want to tell me you would want to take drugs expired if you know that drugs are expired? You for it. They knew that someday that boat would have sink, and having said that, it sink, and they have their rituals by making people's lives a sacrifice in this country. And the black people, because every time something like this happens, it benefits one set of people. The people who are benefiting, who are in office. And every time they're using hits and jumps to promote shows and people drink and all kind of thing, people in this country here need to wake up. This government has lives in this country here. It's a sacrifices going on in this country. And whatever it is they have their hands in, because it's innocent lives. They got to do this because they have to get blood on their hands. Mr. Gadaki, thank you for having me. And God bless you and the family.
Morning. Morning, all listeners and viewers. When my grandson get the cartoon walking around, he's a 80 months baby. You move from it, still find him with part. I go in and I sit in. However, one agent that say they paid 94 million to fix this boat. Right? Fine. We want the person who get the contract come up with the check, with the paper that is signed, or if we change the check, we're going to West Sub Treasury show us the man get $90 million. Gotta get book work. The state gotta sign for this $94 million. We want everything showing and proving that this man spent $94 million for the check. The contractor, we want to come with his papers that he paid. It paid him $94 million. Okay? We want if the bank pay out the money, we must get them from the bank. We want everything well set, that when we go for tax, we could tax. Let them come out with these papers that agent pay them $94 million. Because Mr. Kadaki may find it worse, because there's where the thief in the money, it did not pay the man $94 million for fix no boat. No, my $94 million I'm paid to fix no boat. Second, the girl that selling the ticket need to be in the laptop, because what I'm saying, they sell 116 tickets and then they sell people take the money without selling them tickets and put them on that boat. Now, a boat overload, the captain's supposed to be in the lockup. Also, the 17 crew members supposed to be in the lockup, because a boat overload, right? Where you carrying the boat? Plus, that car could get engine is done everything. You understand me? Then the passenger them are all supposed to know boat overload, not to go from time that boat grung out. They're supposed to know the boat overload, because the boat already grung down. Come off of the boat. But then again, sometimes people don't have money to St. George more long. Sometimes people they're not in hotels. You understand? Like me, I apply for land since 94. Now can't get land as hotel. I got to stay. So if I get something important to do, I got to try and do everything in 2 days or 1 day and get out the hotel. That hotel take him money. The other thing is, everybody in the PPP need to resign, and Guyanese, we want no written no protest from Aiken. So nobody has signed no protest. We need to take the streets. And while we taking the streets, we do that Iran do call on Trump. We want Trump, we want the foreigners to come and get Guyana, take Guyana out of these people hands. Or like a captain in the army, do we God won't take this country out to PPP, and we don't care what Iman can. You could imagine the amount of children that go home from school and meet their demise. And then the Mark Phillips saying the tragedy event. This man would mean an event and demise. Track and field event. There's a water grave we get there. Me, like wasn't coming to me mouth to say, oh, I in such a passion. I wake up to something this morning, this white scene. 3 o'clock, I dip on my phone, I wake up. Me husband tell you, look, the boat sink and kill people. First, me husband tell me when he used to work, when he was in National Service North, where's the boat older than me? Because he could remember the boat name more than me. When I people put the boat is 87 years old. What 87 boat doing for new water? Nothing from Vietnam to George and the boat supposed to work. The boat supposed to come off of the water top. But Ali and Jack, they're just concentrating on vote. And they said, don't make this political. It is political because when supporters going in and afternoon supporters at the Humaniano, why you lacking the gate to get a big fat policewoman, a black woman putting up people? Well, if I was a police, everybody would go in. Real talk. You can tell people life go down as 0. Look, make the pontoon cross on the shore took thing. Make this pontoon, give him probably know what make this. He do take the pontoon out of that water and build another pontoon. Because make this case for his people life that going over on that water. Because the man knows children just go on that boat, babies just be on this pontoon. When the bus driver on the pontoon, babies just be in the bus. Why is it Guyana government so liar? They buy boat for work now. They buy this, they buy that. And that's not they're taking the money for bail farm. I guess all of them get farm. Benja Posad, Frank Anthony, one jail, Mark Phillips, all them, we need to protest against them. But you see these Guyanese people, they like money and they like handout, and it's I gotta look for a bread and a mildew bread.
Morning, Kedaki and viewers. I agree with Flash Garden. Put fire and smoke. Black people are here, they're not here. Right now, Guyana take over with Indian national, Chinese, and Venezuelans. Guyana already give away and sold out. They are waiting. Guyana is waiting to be renamed. Thank you. Have a great day. Have a great day, everyone. When the international graduate home from wherever you there, graduate from IFLAC University. Okay, we gonna assist in burying the family. That is all. That is all.
I'm going to good morning, viewers. Good morning, guys. Good morning, all right, thinking Guyanese. Whether you're here or in the diaspora, whether you're that young Guyanese and viewers, my condolences goes out to every life that lost there. Relative, family, relatives, and friends. It's sad, 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 sad situation. When you look at it, when you listen to it, it's really sad. It's really sad. It's really sad. In the Guyanese, 5 more years upon us. 5 more years. 5 more years. Old people have a saying, black man, if you don't want to hear, you have to feel. I put it as black man, because black man may talk to a black man. Black people got to win this. Help for have been this today. It's a sad situation in Guyana today. It's very much sad. Sad plus embarrassing plus disgraceful. Everything else add on. Shame, 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 shame on Bishop Virgil. It's a big shame on that press conference. That so-called press conference that y'all sit down there and trying to hide the truth of what take place there. But anyhow, truth don't hide no more in this country. It don't hide. It just take a split seconds to reveal itself. And that is what happening in Guyana today. The truth is out in the public domain. Guyana have enough stupid people, but I warn y'all that everybody is stupid. If y'all side stupid, it's y'all business. Understand me? So it's a shame and a sad time now for Guyanese. Sad time. Guyanese, what more we want to see? What more we waiting for in this country called Guyana? You waiting for them take down a whole village? Or forbid me this morning from saying that. That is what you are waiting for. For these PPP take a whole village down and then come with some light, through the bloody teeth again. Come on, bro. We gotta wake up. We gotta wake up. And for the Kidaki of viewers, I think it's 2% these people find. These people don't want to bring out the information. Come on, bro, look how long this thing happened. What hours this thing happened? And you find 2 bodies out of 8 or something. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. The math's not adding up at all. Bishop Virgil and them jokers that you had at the press conference come to the front of the class. Come to the front of the class, Jack. Do they right to put y'all all that press conference yesterday to embarrass y'all as black man, as black out slave, and black bootlickers, and black leg party. You understand me? Where is the Minister of Health? He's supposed to be sitting there alongside the y'all. You do y'all? Put y'all as black people for letting born for y'all shoulder.
Kedaki, good morning. I quite agree. First, let me send out my condolences to those that lost loved ones and relatives in this disaster. Kedaki is a really tragic and serious thing. You see, anyway, I just go to people real often with the boat. And even when I was coming back from Exquib on Saturday night, on Friday night, I come back with a boat that named Orcalese. And the way this boat was being water, it was made to Puerto Rico. And I watched the lights of Puerto Rico and watched how this boat behaving. You see, and I did praying for Kedaki. And now just a couple days after this happened to people on another boat. I just go to people who study college the cell. So I go there to sell. Right? And why is it happening? What is it happening there, Kedaki? It could be anybody. Because I was there on the leave with my wife, my daughter, and two grandchildren, two granddaughters, and their small children. You see? So when I see this thing, Kedaki, it brought tears to my eye.
Kedaki, morning. First thing, my sympathy goes out to all the people who lost the loved ones. And the only thing I see here is corruption. There's the only thing. There's the only thing trickling down to this small man. Not the money. The money stays at the top among the few. So the corruption trickle down. And I hope people get to see things what corruption does. A country that is corrupt, these are the repercussions of it.
Okay. I know there are lots of other voice notes because I'm seeing them and they're coming way past 9. It's 70 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. I will apologize for not being able to play more voice notes because, we have to bring the program to an end at some point in time. I thank you for your contributions. I thank you for tuning in. I hope you'll share the live and you'll keep in your prayers the relatives and friends of those who have suffered from this tragedy. Like I said, I am still keeping hope alive. I'm really hoping that they will find more people alive. I'm hoping that some people are able to drift ashore, even to places where there is no habitation, where nobody lives, and so eventually somebody gonna find them along the shores and so. Because I remember years ago, those two little Amerindian sisters, I think they walked for 17 days or more, 45 days, I think. They were lost in the jungle and given up upon, perhaps. But after about 45 days, I think they eventually emerged. and we're alive and well. I pray for some more heroism like that. I sincerely hope that we find more people alive. But I'm going to repeat for emphasis. Unless we do something about this disaster named the PPP government, we're going to continue to get issues like this. We're going to continue to get disasters like this. PPP is a natural disaster that is Guyana. If we want to fix this, we have to first fix our government. That's all I can say. Come on, Guyanese ought to be tired. It's from one thing to the other to the next, you know? And, you know, a lot of people maybe don't know, but people are talking about money and so on and so forth. And it seems as though we don't learn sometimes. Because the people who suffered in the Major Dorms fire, their relatives were brought into place and given money and made to sign documents, and that the PPP hope was going to be the end of it. I understand that, again, in this tragedy here, people are already being given money and told to sign documents. When are we going to learn? When are we going to learn? We're suffering already. $100,000, like one man said, gave him $100,000. Can't stop the suffering. We gotta stop looking out for ourselves, and we have to look out for each other. We have to look out for this nation. We gotta look out for every person in this nation. We gotta start looking out like Guyanese. Yes, we have our political preferences. Yes, we have our political differences. Yes, we have our religious and ethnic preferences and all of that. But as a people, we have to act as a people to deal with our government as a people. It is the only way we are going to fix this nonsense. You have a manifest with more than 50% of the people rescued, not accounted for all. You have, I heard a survivor, the experience of a survivor. I think it's one of those women who lost children. She said that a box, she was pinned by a box. If a passenger is pinned by a box, it means that that box was not properly secured. A whole host of failings you can recognize from this disaster. Because in some instances, people are paid too little to care much. Some people might disagree. You take the job, you gotta do the job, regardless of the money and so. No, some people take the job just because of the fact that they got to eat. And if you don't pay them enough to care, then they don't need to care. They don't see the need to care. This is the reality. While your leaders are eating steak, whether at home or in a foreign land, you are here suffering, traveling on an 87-year-old vessel that just 4 months prior to this tragedy, tender documents were issued for showing the scope of work which must be done on that vessel to make it seaworthy. But you got a jackass as a minister sitting on NCN and telling people the work, the tender document is only a description of works that that people anticipated should be done. If you anticipate it got to be done, you anticipate that it is in a bad shape. You don't budget to fix the roof if you know, or if you have established that the roof is in good shape. You budget to fix parts that you know are not in good shape. So, y'all have a good day. Goodbye. Much love. Tough love is love too. Let's see where we go from here. The opposition, I pray. I'm a prayer man, you know. I pray y'all gonna get rid of the spirit of fear and beg God for spirit of confrontation. Right? In his weakened state, Sam said, Father, give me the strength to destroy them. Yeah, maybe. I know Psycho is a good Christian brother. Maybe Psycho got lead in prayer. So y'all gonna get some strength to confront this wickedness. Y'all ain't looking good. I'm a part of the opposition, but I think I smell it like a rose compared to her. Honestly. I'm blowing my own eyes, but any minister could tell me I can't go in there. Y'all have a good day. Goodbye.